So hey, just a heads up, my parents are moving in with us. Great news, huh? Can you start cleaning the guest room or whatever?
Excuse me, moving in? When did this happen?
Last night, I stayed over at their place, remember? They were like, "Oh, Stuart, we're so old, our knees hurt, we can't climb stairs anymore." And I was like, "Say no more." So I told them, "Yeah, move in with us." Boom, problem solved.
Wait. You just offered to let them move in with us without asking me?
Well, yeah. I mean, come on. They're my parents. They raised me, wiped my butt, fed me chicken nuggets. Lots of chicken nuggets, like almost every day until I graduated from high school. This is the least I can do.
Stuart, you didn't adopt a puppy. You just invited 2 adults to live with us indefinitely. And you didn't even mention it to me first?
I didn't think it was a big deal. You're my wife now. That makes them your parents too, right? So it's basically like one big happy family reunion, but permanent.
That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Living with your elderly in-laws isn't a sitcom. It's a full-time job I didn't sign up for.
Come on, Amanda, you're being super negative right now. You haven't even met them properly in like 2 months. They're chill. Well, mostly. Dad likes his morning radio really loud, and Mom doesn't like the smell of shampoo, but other than that, it'll be super easy.
Oh my God, Stuart, who's going to take them to doctor appointments? Who's making their meals? Who's running their errands?
I don't know. I guess you?
Me?
I mean, yeah, you're better at that kind of stuff. And it's not like I can take time off work every time my mom needs to buy a new heating pad or something.
I also work full-time, in case you forgot.
Right, but you're like normal job full-time. You're not management like me. I've got pressure, you know? I got responsibility. People count on me.
So, because I'm not a manager, I'm supposed to juggle elder care and housework and my job while you act like a visiting prince?
I mean, if we're being honest, yeah, you're way better at multitasking, and like, you're not even at the office today. You've been in bed for what, 3 days?
Because I'm sick, Stuart. I have a fever. I've been throwing up. You do realize that, right?
Yeah, and not to be rude, but the place has been kinda gross since you stopped doing stuff. I had to wipe the counters myself yesterday with paper towels. It was awful.
You poor thing.
I just think we should focus on the big picture here. My parents need help. You're the logical choice. We've got space, you've got time, they've got needs. It's like fate, you know?
No, I do not know. And the fact that you're laying this all on me while I'm too sick to sit upright tells me exactly how little you care.
That's unfair. I totally care. I'm here, aren't I?
You're not here. You went to your parents' house and only came back to tell me we have new roommates. That's not care, that's cowardice.
You make it sound like I abandoned you in a thunderstorm or something. I just needed a break. You weren't doing anything. I was hungry. The laundry was piling up.
I was bedridden, Stuart. Bedridden. You ran off to your mommy because I wasn't up to cooking?
Look, can we just reset this convo? Maybe you're cranky from being sick. Once you get your strength back, you'll see this cohabitation plan is actually genius.
Stuart, I am dangerously close to throwing my phone across the room.
Don't do that! Phones are expensive! And since my parents are gonna live with us, we'll need a lot more money on hand.
Then do me a favor. Don't message me again for a while. I'm going back to sleep. This conversation has made me feel 10 times worse.
Fine, rest up. We can revisit this once you're feeling more like your usual helpful
here. I just heard from Stuart that you refuse to let us move in. As his wife, you think you have the right to say no? What kind of arrogant behavior is that? Hello, Linda. It's been a while. I understand you're upset, but if we could maybe talk about this later, I'm currently sick and resting. I haven't been able to go to work in days. Your sniffles can wait. This is more important. Do you think I care about a little cold when we're trying to coordinate a move? My husband and I already started boxing up the crystal, and then I find out you're putting a stop to everything. How selfish can you be? I think there's been some misunderstanding. Stuart never consulted me about this. He just informed me out of nowhere while I was bedridden that the two of you were moving in, and when I asked about logistics, he said I would be the one handling everything, like doctors, cleaning, meals, errands. Well, obviously, you're the wife. That's your whole job description. What, you thought Stuart was going to do it? Please! He's a busy man. Stress gives him hives. We didn't raise him to be a caregiver. That's the daughter-in-law's job. Everyone knows that. That's not only outdated, it's insulting. I work full-time. I already manage the entire household. And now I'm supposed to be your personal nurse and chauffeur, too? Yes, now you're getting it. We're thinking of moving in around the end of the month. I'll need the spare room converted into something more age-appropriate. I'm talking about non-slip flooring, a special reclining bed, blackout curtains for my migraines. Oh, and while we're at it, we'll need an elevator installed for the basement. An elevator? Of course! The stairs are treacherous, and my husband insists on storing his golf bags downstairs. Honestly, it's a hazard waiting to happen. We can't risk our hips at our age. I've looked into the cost already. Don't worry, you just need to coordinate it and pay for it. Linda, this is getting ridiculous. Not at all! It's perfectly reasonable. You're young and energetic, and we're tired. That's how life works. Now, about the budget, we won't be contributing any money whatsoever to household expenses. Hope that's okay. You're telling me you want to move in, make me your full-time caregiver, remodel my house, and not pay a single cent? Correct! Oh, and just to make sure things run smoothly, I'll need you to cook breakfast and dinner every day. Handmade, organic, allergen-free meals only, please. None of that greasy frozen nonsense or pre-made food that's stuffed full of preservatives and whatnot. My husband is on a very particular diet. Also, he'll need a ride to his golf class every Saturday. I attend a book club on Sunday afternoons, so block that off too. Wait, you're serious? You expect me to personally drive you to your weekend hobbies? Naturally, your family. And what's the point of having a daughter-in-law if she doesn't support you socially? Oh, and speaking of that, I have one more tiny request. We'd like a little monthly allowance, nothing too big, just a few $100. You know, for elder networking. Elder networking? Yes, lunches with old friends, gift exchanges, the occasional wellness retreat. It's very emotionally nourishing, but it's hard to ask Stuart directly. He gets stressed when we talk about money. You seem like you have savings, though, and a decent job. You're still working, right? I'm recovering from a stress-induced illness, and you're telling me to fund your social life? Oh, don't be so dramatic. You're young. Your body will bounce back. Mine, on the other hand, is delicate and full of wisdom. We need comfort in our old age, not confrontation. So just say yes and we'll get things rolling. No. Excuse me? No to all of it. I'm not funding your hobbies. I'm not remodeling my house. I'm not chauffeuring you across town. And I'm not letting two freeloaders with a list of demands longer than a CVS receipt move into my home. You don't get a say! You're the wife. You do what you're told. That might be how you run your household, but not mine. I'm not your maid. I'm not your retirement plan. And I'm definitely not your ATM. You'll have to find another solution, because I am absolutely not agreeing to this cohabitation. So, you're rejecting us completely? That's your final answer? It is. And just so you know, this conversation has made me feel even worse than before. So, congratulations! I'm putting down my phone now. Please don't message me again.
So, I heard from the doctor you're gonna be in the hospital for like a week? Maybe 2? That's not ideal, Amanda.
Yes, I have a bleeding ulcer. The doctor said it's from stress and that I need complete rest.
Wow, that really sucks for me.
I didn't plan this, Stuart.
Yeah, I get that, but you being out of the house really messed up my routine, you know? I had to eat from the convenience store 3 days in a row. Do you know how depressing that is?
You're complaining about eating fast food while I'm hooked up to an IV and barely able to keep buttered toast down?
I'm just saying some warning would have been nice. And there were dirty dishes in the sink when I got home. The vacuum hadn't moved an inch. I had to do it all myself. Me, vacuuming, can you believe that?
Wow, Stuart, I'm impressed. You managed to operate a vacuum cleaner. That's something only about 99% of adults can do.
Anyway, since you're basically out of commission and I can't be expected to run a whole house by myself, I figured this is the perfect opportunity to go ahead and make the move official.
Wait a second. Move? What move?
My parents! I told them you're in the hospital, and they were like, well, this is our time to shine. So we went ahead and brought their stuff over. They've already started unpacking. I didn't want to bother you with the details while you're weak and all.
You what?
Look, it just made sense. You said no before, but now you're not even home. So really, it's a win-win. They're settled in. We'll adjust.
I told you clearly and repeatedly that I did not want to live with your parents. I said it every time you brought it up. I was not ambiguous.
Yeah, but you were being stubborn. I figured once it was happening, you'd get used to it. Like, eventually you'd see the logic, you know?
The logic in steamrolling me and inviting two freeloaders to move in while I'm in a hospital bed?
Freeloaders, hey, that's my family you're talking about. And another thing, you're not really in a position to object, Amanda. You're literally not fulfilling your wifely duties right now, so you kinda lost your veto privileges.
You have got to be kidding me.
Oh, come on, don't make this a whole thing. Look, if you really hate it that much, you could just stay in the hospital longer or something.
Oh, don't worry. I won't be returning to that house. I'm going to my parents' place once I'm discharged.
Wait, what?
I'm not coming back, Stuart. Not ever.
What are you saying? You're not talking about divorce, are you?
Yes, Stuart. Yes, I am.
Whoa, hold on just 1 second. That's way out of proportion. Just because I made a few executive decisions while you were out of commission, you're gonna throw away our whole marriage?
You didn't make executive decisions. You made selfish ones. You disrespected me, ignored my wishes, treated me like an unpaid maid, and now you've invaded my home with your demanding, delusional parents. This is not a partnership. This is a coup, and I'm not sticking around 1 second longer.
This is coming out of nowhere! I mean, yeah, things have been a little rocky, but not divorce rocky. Like, is this really about my parents?
Not entirely, no. Your parents are the final straw, but this started long before them.
Then tell me what's really going on here!
Fine, let's talk about your little hobby, the one in the tight office skirt and fake lashes.
What?!
You've been having an affair with that part-time college student from your office. You thought I wouldn't notice?
Whoa! Okay, hold it right there, Amanda. That's crazy! Where is this even coming from?
From last year's company holiday party. You remember it, don't you? I went home early with a migraine, and you stayed out just a little longer. I happened to pass by the cafe near the station on my way back and saw you both walking hand in hand. You were laughing like teenagers sneaking away from home.
That wasn't me! It could have been anyone!
You were wearing the ugly striped scarf I got you. She was wearing your coat. It wasn't anyone else.
Okay, fine. But that doesn't mean it was serious. We were just hanging out, grabbing drinks sometimes. You know, workplace bonding.
Workplace bonding? With your tongue?
Come on, Amanda, don't get all forensic about it.
I've known for a year. I've collected evidence, photos, receipts, phone logs, screenshots. I have every detail that I need to prove my case.
You've been spying on me for a year?
I wasn't spying, I was preparing, because I knew if I confronted you too early, you'd gaslight me. Say I was imagining things, so I waited. I worked overtime. I got promoted. I became financially independent, and I made a plan.
This is crazy! This is betrayal!
No, Stuart. Betrayal is cheating on your wife, forcing her to manage a household alone. And then dropping your parents on her like she's your unpaid nursemaid.
You don't understand. She came on to me. She was persistent. I didn't even like her that much. It was just a fling, okay? A little tiny fling.
A fling that lasted a year? That included late-night dates 3 times a week, business trips to motels with hourly rates, and romantic texts about how she was your light-in-the-dark office.
That's private information. You don't have a right to know about all that.
It's not private anymore, doofus.
Okay, look, I messed up, but we can fix this, right? We don't need to involve lawyers. I can stop seeing her. I'll go right now and tell her it's over.
It doesn't matter anymore. I'm not staying with a man who only acknowledges reality when he's caught. I'm filing for divorce the day I'm discharged. And my lawyer will be in touch about damages.
You're serious? Like, serious?
Dead serious. And if you think I'll be guilted into backing down just because you're panicking now, think again.
This is such an overreaction. You're blowing everything out of proportion. No one gets divorced over one tiny mistake.
You didn't make one mistake, Stuart. You made 100. You just assumed I'd never notice. Or worse, you thought I'd notice and let it go because I didn't have options.
So that's it, huh? You're really leaving? You're really gonna throw this all away?
You already threw it away. I'm just taking out the trash.
What about our house? Our future? You can't just walk out like that!
I can, and I am. I suggest you get used to the sound of your mother's voice echoing through every room because she's the only one you'll be living with from now on.
This is insane. This is actually insane.
No, this is justice. And just a heads up, my lawyer is very thorough, so I hope you kept all your receipts. I'll be needing them.
Wait! Amanda, please! We need to talk more about this! Don't rush into this!
I've spent a year thinking it through. The only thing I'm rushing is how fast I settle cheating. Yes, Linda, I am. And not just over the cheating, though that would be reason enough. I'm done with your son, and I'm done with you. Don't be ridiculous. You think you're the first wife to catch her husband straying? It happens. You deal with it. You work it out. You don't run home crying like some spoiled teenager. Now get over yourself and come back. We're still waiting on that guest room setup. No, Linda, I'm not coming back to set up a suite for your Royal Highness and her golf-loving husband. And you know why? Because this was never about family. You didn't want me back for Stuart's sake. You wanted me back because you needed someone to clean up your mess. What are you even talking about? The debt, Linda. That's what I'm talking about. What? What debt? Don't play dumb. I took a peek into your mailbox last week when I stopped by to grab my last few things. You might want to start locking it. It was practically bursting with red letter notices. Collection agencies, utility threats, even one from a place called Quick Cash Plus. Sound familiar? You what? You went through our mailbox? That's outrageous! That's illegal! You had no right! Oh, come on. You were the one who kept saying we were all family now, remember? Family shares everything. Why not the mailbox, too? That was not what I meant. You invaded our privacy. And you invaded my life, so I guess we're even. I cannot believe this. You're accusing us of hiding debts based on some envelopes? No, I'm accusing you based on the sudden pressure to move in, your refusal to pay any living expenses, your demand for a monthly allowance, and your bizarre insistence that I be the one to handle every errand. Every doctor's appointment, every grocery run, it all makes perfect sense now. You needed a full-time unpaid caretaker and an ATM. That is a vile accusation! And yet you haven't denied a word of it. Fine, so maybe we've had a little trouble lately. The economy's rough. Your father-in-law's retirement package wasn't as generous as we'd hoped. We've had to make some adjustments. Like taking out short-term loans to fund your luxury hobbies. They are not luxury, they're essential to our well-being. His golf instructor is a retired pro. This is not some little league lesson. And my flower arranging class is therapeutic. I have an eye for it. Everyone says so. Your therapy costs over $700 a month. That's more than most people spend on rent. We're elderly. We need something to keep our minds active. And besides, what else are we supposed to do? Sit around watching TV all day? I don't care what you do, Linda. Take up bird watching, learn to knit, join a community choir, but don't expect me to bankroll your lifestyle. It was just going to be a little help. You work full-time, you have a decent salary, and you don't even have kids yet. You could have spared a few hundred for us. And Stuart could have spared you the embarrassment of being exposed, but he couldn't keep his pants on for 5 seconds. Actions have consequences, Linda, and your family's debt is no longer my concern. But if you divorce him, who's going to help us? Who's going to cover the bills? We can't keep taking out loans. Maybe don't take out any more. Maybe try living within your means. Don't say things like that. You have no idea how difficult things have been. You're right, I don't. I've been too busy managing my own health, handling a full-time job, doing all the housework your son dumped on me, and collecting enough evidence to legally destroy his reputation. I didn't have time to check on your boutique flower subscriptions. So that's it? You're really walking away? I already did. I just haven't filed the paperwork yet. But don't worry, it's coming. And when it does, you and your husband will be free to pursue your hobbies with as much debt and dignity as you can manage. Just not under my roof and not on my dime. You heartless little... No, Linda. What's heartless is latching onto someone for their labor and money and calling it family. I won't be your daughter-in-law much longer. You should start practicing how to say former in front of it. You'll regret this. I already regret not doing it sooner. Goodbye, Linda.
Amanda! So, I wanted a chance to talk to you. An interesting thing showed up in the mail today. It's, well, the divorce papers. They came in this super thick envelope and had a lawyer's office's name on the outside. It made me think, this is kind of intense for, a misunderstanding.
Please, this is not a misunderstanding, Stuart. This is a correction. The paperwork just makes it legal.
But you actually filed? I thought that was just you blowing off steam. You said, I'm done and all that, but you said it in a venti kind of way.
I don't vent, Stuart. I act. Which is more than I can say for you, unless we're talking about bad decisions or unpaid bills.
Ouch! Okay, that was a little below the belt, but can't we at least talk about this like adults? You really want to throw away everything over some harmless flirting?
That harmless flirting lasted a year, involved multiple hotel receipts, and nearly cost you your job. Let's not downplay the masterpiece of poor judgment you created.
I just wanted something new, something exciting. You've been so tired lately. You're always at work, always serious, and never pay attention to me. But her, she laughed at my jokes, even the ones about raccoons and vending machines.
Stuart, you cheated. This isn't about laughter. It's about betrayal. You turned our marriage into your backup plan.
But I always came home to you, didn't I? Doesn't that count for something?
Congratulations! You didn't get lost on your way back from your affair.
Look, I panicked. You were always busy. The house was stressful. My parents were calling me nonstop.
And instead of facing any of that like a grown man, you ran to a college student and called it self-care.
Okay. Yes, I handled things somewhat poorly.
Somewhat?
Okay, pretty poorly, but I'm trying now. I want to fix this.
You want to escape consequences. That's not the same.
Can't we just hit reset? Like clean slate, fresh start? Maybe go on a vacation together. You love beach towns, right? Let's rent a cottage on the beach.
I love beach towns. I don't love being gaslit in swimwear.
So that's a no?
That's a never.
Fine. But while you're over there being heartless, I'm stuck dealing with my parents' disaster.
Oh, you are you? Please go on. I'm listening.
60,000. That's how much they owe. They didn't just mismanage things, they completely nuked their finances. Like, You remember the explosion scene from Terminator 2? It's like that, but instead of a playground, it's their bank account. We're talking dozens of credit cards, personal loans, subscription boxes for gadgets they don't even use. I opened one box, and it was just 6 kinds of back massagers.
And none of this occurred to you sooner?
They said they were thriving in retirement. I thought that meant yoga, not debt spirals.
But you didn't ask, because as long as they weren't yelling, you assumed everything was fine.
You're right. Okay, you're right. But now I'm stuck. They want to keep their lifestyle, and I can't even afford my own Uber Eats habit.
And let me guess, your career is circling the drain too.
It's not that bad.
Translation, it's worse.
I'm possibly subject of a teensy tiny little internal review from HR.
I see. What specifically is it for? I can think of at least 5 different possibilities.
It's for, the thing with the part-timer, the one with the cute earrings.
Uh-huh. Please continue.
She's saying I crossed boundaries, that I pressured her during a one-on-one. I only gave her feedback. She said she wanted to move up. I said I'd help her move emotionally.
That's not a defense. That's a confession with sparkles.
She's making me sound like some kind of predator. I'm not creepy. I'm just expressive.
You're just reckless. And now you want my help.
I need the dossier. You have everything. Texts, timelines, photos. If I can prove it was consensual, I might avoid getting fired.
And I should give you that why?
Because you're a good person and you don't want to see me living in a cardboard box?
$3,000.
What? You're charging me?
That file cost me a year of insomnia and a stomach ulcer. It's not a gift, it's a product. One I never wanted to provide in the first place.
Amanda, I don't have that kind of money! I had to cancel my Netflix account! I'm wearing socks with holes in them!
Then consider selling one of your hobbies, or your ego.
What if I pay in installments? How does $10 a month until it's paid off sound?
I'm not a Walmart. There is no layaway service, nor installment plan.
How about you send me half of the file first, just to show me that you're serious about making the deal?
Not a chance. You'll just use the half I give you to prove your case and never pay up. Send the money first, then the file is yours. That's the only option you have.
This is blackmail,
I prefer to call it well-deserved consequences. You're just not used to them having price tags.
Why are you doing this? You used to be kind, supportive. You ironed my shirts. And now you're trying to extort money from me?
I was your wife. I thought I was investing in a future. Turns out, I was steam-pressing red flags.
But I don't want to divorce you!
I don't care what you want. I'm not asking your permission.
But you do need my permission! You're the one walking away! I'm trying to fix this!
No, Stuart. You're trying to salvage your life, not ours. There's the difference.
Can't we pause this? Maybe talk in person? You used to say we shouldn't text serious stuff.
And you used to say you were working late, when you were really at a motel with a girl who thought synergy was a compliment. And now that very same girl is using your career as a sacrifice to the gods of Me Too in order to propel her own career.
I don't want it to end this way.
It ended a long time ago. You just didn't notice.
I'm serious. I don't want a divorce.
And I don't want to keep cleaning up after a man who thinks apologies are a form of strategy.
Then what am I supposed to do?
Reflect, grow, pay your parents' debt, and maybe someday realize that love isn't about being rescued.
I still love you, Amanda.
Then let me go, because the version of love you're offering isn't one I can live in.
Please don't do this!
Goodbye, Stuart. You can keep the bath towels. You'll need something to cry into. That includes alimony, damages, and the money I blackmailed. Payment for my document procurement services. He narrowly avoided getting fired, but not before being demoted so far down the ladder he's practically underground. His nameplate now lives next to the office shredder. Fitting. With his savings drained by legal fees and my well-earned payout, he had just enough left to clean up his parents' $60,000 mess. Goodbye, spa memberships. Hello, store brand instant noodles. They moved into a modest apartment, smaller than the walk-in closet Linda once demanded. Golf and book clubs are officially on pause, forever. Now, the woman who insisted I cater to her every whim spends her afternoons clipping grocery coupons while Stuart nags her about utility bills. As for me, I moved on. Quietly, cleanly, and with a thick file of receipts, literal and emotional, to remind me that freedom is never free, but sometimes it pays very well.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.